Dr. Scott Fuller. Let's talk about reducing your chemical exposure at home for you and your family. I'm going to give you some simple things that you can do right away. A lot of it costs nothing. Some of it will cost a little bit on reducing your chemical exposure and the chemical exposure to your kids. Let me give you a few references that can help you out a lot on your journey of reducing your personal chemical load. In prior shows, I did talk a lot about the chemical issues around the world, but that is too overwhelming for us as individuals. However, you can take steps right now to reduce your exposures at home. Let's do that. The first reference is a website, thebodytoxic.com, thebodytoxic.com. It's a book, actually, The Body Toxic by Nina Baker. I read this book years ago. It's a great read. It's short. It's loaded with great information, and her website is really simple. Great information on there, and you can get lots of stuff on there. So thebodytoxic.com, we'll talk about that. Nina Baker will explain to you how phthalates in plastics, and we've heard of phthalates, and they're estrogen mimickers and cancer causers and so forth. Bisphenol A in food containers, another issue that she brings up and that we can change. Flame retardants in furniture and carpets and so forth. Chemicals in food wrappers, pots, pans, cleaners, and deodorizers. We're going to get into those in a couple of minutes. Oh, and I also like, as a side note, chemicals in your lawn. Anytime that I see the little flag that we have to put on our lawns that says, "Don't walk here," or "Children and pets keep off," I wonder, let's rethink that, don't you think? If we're spraying some stuff on our lawn that we don't want our children and pets to be on, how good is that for the rest of us? How good is it for the soil right there outside your house? How good is it for our little planet called Earth here? I think we want to rethink that. Anyways, that was a side note. So back to our story here. With Nina Baker, she describes the phthalates being linked to breast cancer, decreased sperm counts, and birth defects. Now, this is important about plastics. This is all plastics, in my opinion, not the BPA-free plastic. I'm fine because this is BPA-free plastic. I don't agree with that, and a lot of other people don't either. We still believe that there's a lot of leaching of chemicals from plastics into your foods and drinks and so on, even if it's BPA-free. So the key here is to eliminate all plastics to your best reasonable ability. We'll get into that. Bisphenol A is an estrogen mimicker. It's a hormone disruptor. It is linked to reproduction and fertility problems. And nail polish, another thing that she talks about too. Nail polish is linked to an increase in male reproductive abnormalities. So that's like a mom or pregnant mom, or a mom with babies. If they're exposing to certain nail polishes, that can be a problem. So we'll get into the other alternatives after that. Brominated flame retardants is something else she talks about, is linked to learning and memory impairments. Of course, we have an epidemic of those. And it's another endocrine disruptor. On Nina's great resource page, she has links to a couple of dozen other companies and organizations and so forth that you can dive into, including environmental defense, environmental health news, Safe Cosmetics, we'll get into that in just a moment, Making Our Milk Safe, which is an organization and a group talking about breast milk, National Resources Defense Council, safemilk.org is that Making Our Milk Safe, and so forth. So that's Nina Baker's site, and I do really recommend that you get into that because she has great resources on changes that you can make. Great little book too. Okay, the next website that you need to become familiar with is ewg.org, Environmental Working Group, ewg.org. Right from their homepage, they have several links and categories of things that you can research and find better alternatives for. They have a link for tap water. You can look at your tap water and see how safe or unsafe it is. They have their link to something called Skin Deep, and that will get into safer personal care products, from makeup to moisturizers, shampoos and conditioners and so forth. They will rank your sunscreens. Sunscreens are notorious of having chemicals that will really have a potential of causing harm. They have a link to a home guide cleaning up your house. More on that in a moment. EWG is also famous for their produce handout. It's called the Dirty 12 and the Clean 15. The Dirty 12 meaning 12 foods you should never buy unless it's organic. And the Clean 15 are a list of foods that are much safer even if they're conventionally grown. On the Dirty 12, just for a moment, it's most berries, and the number one on there has always been strawberries, and I've always told people, stay away from non-organic strawberries. If it's non-organic, don't consume it. They use a very special pesticide on strawberries called methyl bromide, if I remember correctly, and that was Dr. Andrew Weil of drwild.com that taught me that about 18 years ago, so that always has to be organic. Just keep in mind berries and leafy vegetables, things that you can't peel. Usually always buy those organic as best you can. Things that you can peel, for the most part, are a little safer because you're going to get rid of some of the stuff on the outside, right? Makes sense. So Dirty 12, Clean 15. Water filters, they'll go into ranking water filters and making a change there. Now, you get a double benefit out of filtering water, and I just did a show on this too. If you are doing a filtered water at home, you're avoiding the chemicals in tap water, and that's good. And then if you do the filter water at home and you used to buy bottled water all the time, you're now not exposing you and your children to the plastics in water. So you get a double benefit there. And actually, the third benefit is it's going to save you a lot of money. Again, if you were buying bottled water, when you price that out gallon for gallon, you're saving a ton of money if you get a home water filter, whether it be a slow drip filter or a reverse osmosis, whatever it might be. A third link that I wanted to introduce you to is safecosmetics.org, safecosmetics.org. Now, if you have daughters, I would imagine that it's important to you not to introduce your daughters to regular chemicals that they're putting on their skin that they can potentially absorb into their bodies that can cause a lot of harm to them potentially, right? That would be an interest of you, okay? So what you do is dive into this site and share this with your daughters. The same goes for men, but it's more with women because of makeup products. So share this information with them. And what they can do is, again, it's not like, oh, I can't do this anymore. What it is they can go on here and begin to choose companies and products that are much, much safer with much fewer contaminants and chemicals in there that can help them out a lot, okay? So look at that website and you can make better choices with your daughters, with the females in your family, and choose safer products. Women are having all kinds of problems now, particularly the younger women, with estrogen-related diseases, painful and terrible menstrual periods, and then they're given birth control pills to try to control that and so forth. And one of the things that many people believe, and I'm one of them, that a lot of these chemicals that we're introducing into our systems, including personal care products, which includes makeup, is causing a lot of hormone disruption, specifically estrogen disruption. Estrogen is becoming dominant, causing all kinds of issues, including reproductive issues, infertility issues, and then, of course, these painful period problems, which then we try to medicate and so on and so forth. Now, that's only one cause of that, but it's something that you can very, very much control. You're spending X amount of money on personal care products to shift that money into products that are better. And I've had many women tell me when they shift to the products that have fewer chemicals, once they find the ones that they really like, they actually like a lot of them better. They like the effects better, they like the look of them better, they like the way that they clean up better, and so forth. So it's not like we're going from great products to products that are just kind of passable. Women are telling me that these other reduced chemical products are still very, very effective in what they're looking for. One thing on Safe Cosmetics is you can look for the Made Safe seal. Made Safe. You'll see that on the website. As I was preparing for this show, I stumbled upon an article from Time magazine dated June 26th of 2017, fairly recent, June 26th of 2017. Here's the title of the article. I'm not going to get into it with you. The Hidden Dangers of Makeup and Shampoos. The Hidden Dangers of Makeup and Shampoos. Again, they're on the train of reporting this as well. Let's just choose better. Choose more intelligently. And lastly, if you really feel like digging into this a lot, this is a very complex book. Detoxify or Die by Sherry Rogers. 2002 is when it was written. I've read the book a couple of times. It's really long, it's really complicated, but it's awesome. Sherry Rogers has done a lot about this. And in that book, she'll talk about all of the ramifications of all these chemicals that we're presented with. Some of it is in our control, like our personal care products and plastics in our life, more on that in a moment. Some of it a little bit more difficult for us to control as a human race, which are all the chemicals on our planet right now that are used in industry and burning fossil fuels and construction and so on and so forth. But Detoxify or Die, it talks about getting these chemicals out of your system as best you can. Okay, with all of that and references, what can you do right now at home to reduce your personal chemical load? First thing, replace your plastic. Get the plastic out of your life to the best of your ability. Food plastic containers that you would put into your fridge to store your food in, get rid of them, replace them with glass and ceramic. You can even use ceramic bowls and put a little plate on top or something like that. Try to reduce the plastic wrap, particularly plastic wrap that touches your food, okay? Never take plastic anything and put it in the microwave. As best you can, never use the microwave. But if you're going to use the microwave, never with any plastic, never with a plastic wrap, no plastic whatsoever in the microwave. Don't try to let any plastic touch your food. Now, drink containers, try to remove all plastic drink containers to the best of your ability. Try to replace it with stainless steel. Okay, stainless steel, not aluminum, stainless steel, as best you can. So get the plastic out of your life with all of the estrogen mimickers that are in them and endocrine disruptors and all kinds of nasty stuff. Number 2, replace your cookware. If you have non-stick cookware, start right now replacing it. And if you have other cookware right now that is glass or stainless steel, and you've got enough of them, just give away the other non-stick cookware, and that includes the utensils as well. Get rid of that stuff. It has been clearly linked, in my opinion, to causing all kinds of problems with humans and the environment. Get rid of that stuff and replace it with ceramic and glass and stainless steel. Number 3, replace your personal care products. Now that's not only makeup that I said, that includes moisturizers and lotions, soap that you use, shampoos and conditioners, anything that's going on in your body that is a personal care product. Look on those websites, safecosmetics.org, ewg.org. Just find safer alternatives, fewer chemicals, and that will serve you very, very well, and particularly with your children. So replace all of that. And that includes sunscreens. Get used to the zinc oxide sunscreens, you know, the ones that go on really pasty and look white and so forth, and you got to rub them in a little bit more, and it takes a little bit more to wash them off. But it's fewer chemicals, and it's a good way to go. So go ahead and do that. And the last one is home chemicals and cleaners. Home chemicals and cleaners are huge. So how are you washing your floors and scrubbing your bathtub, and what are you doing in the toilet bowl, okay? A lot of the times, like I do at my home, is I use vinegar and baking soda. And a lot of my patients that I've talked to, they said, oh yeah, I do that all the time. It works great for most things, vinegar and baking soda. You can scrub a toilet bowl with that. You can do the bathtub with that, and it's very harmless, right? And the other benefit of that is it's extremely cheap. It's very cheap to buy a gallon of vinegar and then a big tub of baking soda. So that's a good way to go. And then laundry detergent and fabric softener. What generated this show is one of my patients came in, and she's a middle-aged woman, and she's going through menopause, and she has weight she cannot get rid of. And we're working with some stuff, and we believe that she has estrogen dominance. And we know one of the things is the exposures to products could be playing a role here. So I talked about it yesterday, because when she came in, I could smell the fabric softener and or detergent right off her clothes. And that dawned on me, and I knew I needed to get into that with her. So we had the discussion. She's like, yeah, okay, let's do this. So I gave her alternatives of things that she could do, and I presented all these websites for her of all of these things that she can try doing differently. Do we really need fabric softener? I don't know, but I don't think so. And all those chemicals, you can actually pop on the web and look for chemical-free fabric softener options. Okay, I don't even use fabric softener, so I don't even need to go there. But you'll find nice alternatives there too. You can use essential oils and all kinds of stuff. Detergents you can do differently. I do my laundry in, once again, vinegar and baking soda, and for the most part it works just fine. You don't have to go to that extreme, but at least choose better detergents. And these websites that I gave you here are going to help you with that. And lastly, if you're cleaning your carpets, and if you have them power cleaned, steam cleaned, just get rid of the chemicals. So even when I do my high traffic office, I'll have them just use water and nothing else. And it will get up, say, 70 or 80% in the high traffic areas. It gets it up enough where we're all satisfied with it and the patients that come in are satisfied with it. It might not get up all the stuff, but I have a lot of patients that come to me with multiple chemical sensitivities. I can't be putting chemicals on my rug anyway, so I find that the steaming works just fine. So you can do that at home. I'm Dr. Scott Fuller. Please join me again. And if you're watching this right now on YouTube, please subscribe and help us. Thank you.